Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to another episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. This is your boy Big Zeke. I'm here with Dre.
Yo, what's
And
good, brother? How you
and we
doing,
are
man?
missing a family member before we even get into that, because I show love right away. Uh,
We show
Kesey,
when you were absent, we show love to you. We
I've seen
show
those episodes. I've seen those episodes. It was barely love.
that's a lie.
It was real barely love.
That's a
But it's
lie.
That
We
was
show
barely love.
love all through those episodes. Now,
I don't remember.
Kesey, on the other hand, said, "Speak for yourself." You know, he was gotta go in there, though, you man.
I know he don't show love. He's a dirty Negro. But that's fine. That is fine with me.
Don't do my brother in his absence. Don't.
Mhm.
But how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing all right, man. Today is Sunday. Starting off to a good week for the Bucks with the dub.
Thank God, man. It was looking a little challenging, wasn't it?
At first, I mean, for you doubters like yourself and then
Well,
others.
let's not act like if Kyrie
Here's the
Irving
deal.
wasn't playing. No, no, no.
They'd have lost. They'd have lost either way. They'd have lost either way.
no, yeah, the Bucks would have, but
No, and you were literally saying, "I'm a Bucks fan." You know, I'm a Bucks
I'm a
fan, right?
huge Bucks.
No, you're not.
Bruh, I'm representing today. I mean, just because I keep it real and honest in sports, that is what people should appreciate about, what we do in sports because we
I
keep it
keep it
real.
real and honest. I keep
No,
it
no,
real and
no, no,
honest
no,
too.
you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah,
No, you
duh.
don't.
Yeah,
No, you
duh.
don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, duh.
No, you
Ah,
don't.
don't I?
No, you don't. I mean, because you know good and doggone well that there have been topics in which you played the Skip
Mm-mm.
Bayless role, in which you
No,
play yes, and when you
no.
know the Bucks didn't have a shot to do anything, you went on anyway and just said, "Oh, I'm riding with the Bucks," knowing good and doggone well the Bucks' his chance didn't look too good before Kyrie got injured. More importantly, the Bucks should have won when Harden wasn't playing, so they almost blew this series. But we'll talk about that coming up because I'm sick and tired of having to prove myself to you and our brother Key as if I'm not a Bucks fan just because I speak the truth about sports. And I'm sorry that y'all feel that when I speak the truth about sports. I
I
apologize.
use First of all, you speak the truth about sports when it favors into you. You rather be right than to be a fan. Because
Wow.
when we talk about Steph Curry, oh man, it turns into a whole different ball game. Steph Curry is the greatest player in the world, and Steph Curry not that great. When you see that shot he made from 50 feet, it's like Kesey with LeBron. Y'all are fans first, and then y'all keep it real, real.
Are you tripping, dude? For real, for real. Like I don't appreciate the fact that you calling me out like that as if I'm not a true Bucks fan. And anyone that
I don't
knows
know.
knows that I've been a Bucks fan since we were bad, since the dog pound, since Glenn Robinson, since the Bucks got robbed from the finals against Allen Iverson when the league wanted Kobe. Ugh,
Excuse me.
ugh,
Sorry.
man, COVID? No,
Sneezing?
well, they adding something new to COVID every day. So, but anyway, I don't appreciate it, and I'm going to need y'all to stop acting like I'm not a Bucks fan. What the heck is wrong with y'all, man?
Actions speak a lot of new words.
Well,
And on
season,
this, and
season
on
ticket
this
season ticket holder for years.
season ticket just means, hey, I have money. That's all that means. That's
Well,
all that means.
well,
That's all that means because the Bucks. I'm like, well, who did I predict? Bucks, Phoenix.
I mean,
Not Brooklyn's a better
you
team.
predicted Bucks Phoenix because you
I'm a
really
Bucks fan.
I'm
I'm
a
a
Bucks
Bucks
fan.
fan.
I'm a Bucks fan too, but you really don't believe that.
I
You
do
really
believe
don't
that.
believe. In fact, our messages show that you also thought after the cameras went off,
Uh
after
huh.
the sweep. I'm not going to be like Michael Rappaport and leak the message.
Link 'em. Link 'em. I ain't got nothing. I've never said. Now, did
No,
I
no, no,
say?
no. Let me finish. You
Go
said
ahead.
what I have to say. Let me say what I have to say. The
Go ahead.
messages show that you also believe that the Bucks might have gotten swept. You also believed it. We talked about it in our group chat.
I don't remember saying that.
Well, I bet you don't. Hey, Texas don't lie. You
Pull
also
it up. Pull it up.
You also said, and I quote, the Bucks might get swept. So let me try to go to at least one of these whole games because they might get swept. Those are your words, my friend.
I don't remember saying
I
that.
bet you don't. I bet you don't remember saying that. I bet
Do
you
you have
don't.
do you have a date?
I
Do you have a
bet you
date and
don't.
time with
Hey
that?
man, I don't have time to go through and play these games with you, man. We always starting this show off like that. I mean, y'all always pulling on me, man, picking on me. What did I do?
I'm picking on you.
What did I do? What did
I'm
I
a
do?
Bucks fan, but
You
they
just
showed
put
lucky
that-
Kyrie got hurt.
And they are. If Kyrie,
The Bucks is gonna win this game. The Bucks is gonna win this game regardless.
First of all, we are not making slight to Kyrie's injury. We are not. We hope he gets better soon. But the fact of the matter is,
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't.
The fact of the matter is that the Bucks, without James Harden, should have won those first two games. Should have. And now that Kyrie is out and potentially out for game 5, and no James Harden potentially for game 5, the Bucks better come out swinging.
I'm not saying they should come out swinging. I do agree with you that they should win, that they need to win that game. I think Kyrie is done for the series.
Wow, you do?
Yeah, James Harden might come back game 7, but even then, he's not going to be at full capacity. A hamstring is at least a 3 to 4 week injury, and this series should be over next week Sunday.
Well, so then you're saying that this series is going 7 games.
I am. I said that before, though. I said it before.
I mean, up until the win that the Bucks stole in game 3, and it was a steal. Yeah, I mean, we'll take the W any way we can get it, but it was a game that they stole. It was a game.
I don't say they stole. I don't want to say they stole it.
Shooting percentage was terrible in game 3. The 3-point percentage was terrible. And one thing that basketball has taught us is that if you live by the 3, you die by the 3. And the Milwaukee Bucks need to make more points. They're terrible from the free throw line. In the regular season, they were one of the top 2 highest scoring teams in the NBA. Them in Brooklyn. Yeah. And they barely broke 100 points in those first 2 games. Barely. They didn't even make 10 free throws. They made 10 3-pointers. They made more 3-pointers today in game 4 than they have all series long. So if the Bucks are going to be able to compete, and if the Bucks are going to be able to stay in this series, it's a series now. Now that the Bucks have tied it 2-2, it's now a series. The Bucks have to play better. They have to hit their threes. Giannis needs to stop taking threes. Let's start there. And he needs to focus on making free throws. He's had 2 10-second violations in the playoffs. I didn't even know that was a rule until I saw him call it on him because he takes so long.
I know it was a rule, but didn't nobody really watch it like that. But everything you just said, but you still say you're a Bucks fan.
I'm a huge Bucks fan.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I mean, the Bucks, I think if the Bucks are going to shoot how they've been shooting in game 1 and 2, they have to pick it up more on the defensive end because you can't outshoot Brooklyn. And because you can't outshoot Brooklyn or outscore them, you have to get them on the defensive end. Today was a perfect example of the Bucks getting through in the defensive end. PJ Tucker is showing why we picked him up. So it's one of those things where, I think, like I said before, when I picked the Bucks to win this series, I picked it because I believe that they can win the series. I think
you believe that Harden was going to be hurt and Kyrie be an injury prone.
I didn't know.
You didn't pick them because you thought they were good. No, come on.
I picked it because I thought they were good on both ends of the court. Because the Bucks hold defense, Brooklyn don't. So
That's a lie because Brooklyn have been playing
No.
some of the best defense all season against the Bucks. Are you kidding
No.
me? Come on.
No.
Come
No.
on.
No. The Bucks have just been missing shots. They've just been missing shots. It has nothing to do with no defense. They've just been missing shots.
Brooklyn's defense has been, I'm not going to say it's great. Like, it's not like, okay, Brooklyn's playing defense, everybody watch out. But the Brooklyn Nets realized that on today that, or on during this series, that they literally have to play defense. They have to play defense. Defense wins championships. And the Milwaukee Bucks have not shown, well, these last two games they have, but again, a win's a win, whether it's with Kyrie or whether it's without Kyrie. You know, a win's a win, and that's just the bottom line. I am happy to see that the Bucks are fighting.
Are
It
you?
sucks. Absolutely, man. If you are questioning my loyalty to the Bucks, I don't know that
All
we
the
were
time.
ever really, well, whatever. I don't know that we were ever really friends to begin with, but
Oh, God.
I'm just saying, because you know I've been a ride or die Bucks fan for years. The year we won like under 15 games, I was a fan. Couldn't
You
buy.
did you have season tickets then?
I did, and I couldn't
You
give them
sure?
away.
You
Listen.
sure?
I got the
Because
I got the bank statements to prove it.
because I remember
to prove it.
because I was in that little little group of like, man, if they don't do better, I'm canceling. And then you cancel for like 2 years.
No. That's a
And
lie.
then you came back around.
That's a lie. I canceled 1 year because the governor gave the Bucks this huge tax break the same year that he made serious, unprecedented cuts to education. And as an educator, I didn't feel right still support the organization who didn't need our tax dollars while education was struggling. So that's why I boycotted for a year or two because of the cuts to education and the arena credits. I'm happy about the arena credits, obviously.
When the hero comes along, I'm playing a small violin. All right, get on with the show.
I mean, we might as well be here now. I mean, we already started on the semifinals, so let's just keep going with that topic, and then we'll dive into the others. So the series is tied 2-2, Bucks in Brooklyn. Again, I didn't see it coming. I'm glad that it came. In fact,
you said Brooklyn in 6, right?
Actually, after game 2, I thought that Brooklyn were going to sweep the Bucks because the Bucks didn't look like they had a chance, and a lot of America agreed with me. So don't act like
just you.
That's a lie. That's a lie because we all said that if the Bucks didn't score more points,
I knew they would get one in Milwaukee. Like after game 2, there was doubt, but I was like, oh, we'll get one. We'll get one.
Not only that, one of the things that Giannis has to stop doing, and I've noticed it today, he's trying to act too much like LeBron.
What do you mean?
Holiday is our point guard. Give up the ball, man. I mean, he's running the ball down, taking pull-up threes. That's not your lane. That is not your lane. Let Holiday do that. No.
He has to keep the offense honest. I mean, the defense honest.
Yeah,
that's the only reason he's doing it.
But he should stop because it's not helping. It's not helping.
It depends on when he takes it. It depends on when he takes it. I agree with you. If it's like we got 2 minutes to go, we're down by 3, and he's open, don't take that. You pass the ball around, so on and so forth. But if we're up by 5 and they're leaving you open, take it. Take it.
Josh Jackson, who's watching on our live podcast, said they got to keep the ball out of Giannis's hands and continue with him as the roller on the pick and roll. I didn't even see that he typed that, and I literally just said that Giannis should not be the floor general. You should not, because Brooklyn has so many threats that can score. But what I will say about the series, now that Kyrie is out and Harden is out, now the Brooklyn Nets know what it feels like to just have one superstar and nobody else. I mean, Jeff Green made his return today. But Brooklyn now has to rely on this bench that everybody keeps talking about They have to rely on old school Blake that everybody keeps talking about. I haven't seen DeAndre Jordan suit up in weeks. And so Brooklyn
Yeah.
now has to prove that they can do it on the back of Kevin Durant. What I will say, the first two games were disastrous for the Bucks. Disastrous. Game 3 was almost a disaster. And then today they look like the Bucks that we can believe in. Granted, Kyrie got hurt. I don't know that he would have been that much of an impact, but the Bucks
You just said he was.
The Bucks did what the Bucks needed to do. They tied the series. We're going back to Brooklyn for Game 5, back to Milwaukee for Game 6. The series is tied at 2-2. Last week I said I like Brooklyn to win it in 6 or even 5. So we know the 5 is out. If Kyrie and Harden do not return for the next 2 games, and the Bucks can't win this series, then the Bucks have problems because it is almost designed for you to win now. It is designed for you to win. So I am going to say this. I'm going to preface my statement by saying this prediction is based on no Kyrie, no James Harden. Now,
how you gonna make a prediction on ifs?
Because ifs matter. We know that ifs matter. Look at what happened to the Look at what happened to the Los Angeles Lakers without LeBron. Look what happened to the Lakers without LeBron. Look what happened to the Lakers without AD. If they were playing, the outcome would have been different. Yes or no?
I mean, that's true.
Okay. I'm going to say this. If Kyrie Irving and James Harden remain out, it is the Bucks series to lose. Because I don't believe that KD can do it by himself. And if the Bucks, I'm almost done. If the Bucks let him do it by himself, then that's a lot to say for us as a team. So I'm going to say that the Bucks are now in the driver's seat because there's no Kyrie and there's no Harden. I believe the Bucks can win it in 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brooklyn finds a way to sneak it out. Go ahead.
Wow.
Hey, sorry.
Bucks. You're a Bucks fan too, huh?
I'm a huge Bucks fan. Come on, man. You know this.
I'm just saying. You just want to rant about Brooklyn.
I want to rant about Brooklyn because you and I both know that when listen, James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant have only played, I think they said 18 games collectively. It might have even been something less than that. It
was like 16, 17, something like that. It was around the same.
If all of them are on the court together and they're 100%, the Bucks don't have a chance. Neither do any other team in the NBA. We've seen that. We've seen that all year. Go ahead.
I'll say this. Brooklyn, even with them, all three of them on the floor, offensively, this team is one of probably the best teams in the league.
You're talking about Brooklyn or the Bucks?
Some other Brooklyn. And I feel like just like any other team that can catch on fire, the Bucks can do the same thing. I don't think, like you just said, Brooklyn in 6, if this, if that, if this. I'll say this. The Bucks is going to win this in 7.
Wow.
Rather Kyrie and James Harden come back, regardless.
Okay.
Because let's say they do come back. Let's say Kyrie plays the next game, which I doubt, but let's say he does. That ankle is still sore. And then let's say James Harden comes back game 6, because he might come back game 5. Let's say he comes back game 5, because I said he's going to be back in 5 games anyway. That hamstring, he's not going to be the same. So either it's going to be an Anthony Davis, LeBron James situation where they're playing hurt, and it's going to be on KD back. I hate the fact that when people like you say, I mean, if Kyrie didn't get hurt, if this didn't happen, this happened. This is part of basketball. That's part of basketball.
That's
part of basketball.
That's sports. Go back to
getting hurt.
Let's take it to the NFL. We're an NBA podcast. How many times did you say if Dak was playing, the results would have been different?
I didn't say that.
You said that often. Stop it. You said that often.
I said that's how the cookie crumbles.
You ain't.
And he's hurt.
You going to hell with gasoline draws on.
I did say this. I I did say this. If he was like, well, obviously, because y'all be clowning me about the Cowboys record. I'd be like, obviously, if Dak wasn't hurt, it'd be different outcome. But are you when you say stuff like that, it kind of takes away from what the Bucks are doing because they could still lose a series with just a healthy KD and the supporting cast that they have. They could still pull this off. But the thing about it is, I think once the Bucks are doing a combination of two things. They're playing good defense, playing really solid defense, and that's what pretty much won them game 3 and this game, solid defense. And then the offense is starting to come because like Chris Middleton is getting to his spots, which him getting to his spot is taken away from Giannis being the pick and roll guy. So it's one of those things where like I still stand by my previous prediction as far as like the Bucks in 7. And I still believe that if the Bucks get past Brooklyn, they're probably the best team on the court.
Well, I've said that.
So,
I've said that.
I'll say they'll win a championship, and I think
I've said that too. I've said that.
You didn't say that.
Go
you
listen.
Didn't say that.
You want me to close the podcast now? I said that. I said the winner of this series will win the championship. I said that.
I don't remember that.
I said that.
So I don't remember.
I bet you don't. So Milwaukee and Brooklyn 2-2. I gave my response. I got the Bucks in 6. Now that Kyrie,
you got who in 6?
I have the Bucks.
You got Brooklyn.
I have the
you
Bucks.
Got Brooklyn.
Stop it! Don't make me censor you. I have.
How you gonna sit? Go ahead.
I have the Bucks in 6 without Kyrie and Harden. You don't want to hear that, but that's how I'm doing it. If they return, I think it's going to change. So I do like the Bucks.
This is Dre tap dancing around.
I am happy that the Bucks are winning. I'm happy to be wrong about this. Okay, let's move on to the other Eastern Conference matchup. Philly said, we're not playing games with Atlanta no more. Philly has put a whooping on them boys, Doc. Philly leads the series 2-1. Game 4 is coming up tomorrow in Atlanta. How are you feeling about this series, man? Is it over? What are your thoughts? I picked Atlanta as an upset, but again, I could have not been more wrong because based on the games that I've seen, the last 2 games especially, Atlanta looks like they're out of their league when it comes to Philly, man. They just don't look like they're ready to go against the big dogs. So, again, I was wrong about that because I believe in the star power of Trae Young, which we'll talk about a little later. But Atlanta just looks like that they are not in a league with the Philadelphia 76ers. Philly's up 2-1.
I mean, I don't want to say that. I just think that Philadelphia figured out Atlanta, and then they stuck with that game plan because Trae Young, is amazing as he is, he's still like 6 foot 6'1" and stuff like that. Like he can't get nothing within 18 feet. Like he can't get nothing. He can get. I mean, he's getting small stuff, but it's not. It's one of those things where like the other star power has to, stick out. So with Philadelphia, especially, they're a tall, lengthy team, and it's coming down to, Trae can't get these shots that he's usually getting, which opens up him shooting from the logo. So it's just one of them things where, like, I think Philadelphia has figured out Atlanta. I picked Philadelphia in like 6 games, but now it's kind of looking like I don't want to say they're dominant. I just think that they're they just have a bigger, stronger team than the Atlanta Hawks. So I'm thinking that I'm kind of feeling like Philadelphia is going, 4-1.
Yeah,
I don't think Atlanta will win another game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, if you look at game 3, Philly destroyed them. It was 127-111. Game 2 was 118-102. And then even the first game that Atlanta stole, it was only a 4-point win. And so Atlanta has a promising future. Big shout out to is it Nate McMillan who got that team
Yeah.
in the middle of the season and who brought them this far. But I'm in agreement with you. I think this series is over. I think Joel Embiid has a chip on his shoulder, especially knowing that he could have won MVP had he not got injured. And I think he's
Yeah.
tired of people overlooking him because right now the only people folks have really been talking about are the Nets, the Clippers, and Phoenix in terms of championship aspirations and wins. And so I
Yeah.
think Philly has that chip on their shoulder. People have written them off in the Eastern Conference, and they're going to show people no. We are not just laying down for the Brooklyn Nets. We are not just laying down for the Milwaukee Bucks. We are a serious contender for the title, and we're going to show you exactly why we are. So I watched those games, and again, Atlanta just looks like they didn't belong. Trae Young was getting very frustrated. The Philly crowd has been all over them. They're 100 times worse than the New York crowds, a
Yeah.
100 times worse. So I think the series is over. I agree with you. I think Philly wraps this up in 5 games. I think when we record on Thursday night, we'll be talking about a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals because I think Philly will be there. So I got Philly closing this out in 5 games. Anything else you want to add, bro?
No, I mean the only thing is I still like every series that Philadelphia gets into, I take them. I don't say I take them less and less serious. I think on paper, um, Philadelphia is a better team and they're showing it. But let's say their next opponent could be either Brooklyn or Milwaukee. Either one of those teams can pretty much have their number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm still not taking Philadelphia serious, as sad as as that is, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Over in the Western Conference, Phoenix is, man,
Well,
three games to zero.
yeah,
3 games to 0, and they play coming up in a little bit. So depending on when you're listening or watching this podcast, the next time when you listen to it, the Phoenix Suns might be the first team in the Western Conference Finals. Phoenix is up decisively, 3 games to 0 over the MVP Joker and the Denver Nuggets. Shout out to Joker for officially winning the MVP like we all knew that he was, very deserving. But I think it's safe to say that the series is over. I don't see a sweep, but then again, Denver doesn't look like they belong. I mean, as we mentioned in other podcasts, Zeke, is Joker is gonna be Joker. Joker's gonna get his.
I said that. I said that. I said this series in particular. I thought Denver would pull off like a couple sneaky ones, but Denver, like I knew this series, the missing Jamal Murray was gonna hurt them really, really bad, and I knew it because besides Joker scoring, because his MVP, I think it was Game 3, he won MVP in Denver. He still put on a clinic. He still put up a 32, 20, and 10.
Yeah,
So
20 rebounds, bro.
yeah.
20
So
rebounds.
it's not like he's not doing everything he possibly can. He is. It's just he doesn't have any help, and it's sad because Kesey guy Michael Porter Jr. He's inconsistent.
He's
So
inconsistent.
you can't rely on him for a bucket. So it is what it is. But I feel bad. I feel bad for Denver. I don't want Denver to go out like this, especially because Joker just won the MVP. So I'm hoping they pull off another one. So at least if Phoenix is going to end this, let them end it in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, I still want to see playoff basketball as much as possible. So.
Agree. Well, game 4 is on now live. If depending on if you're watching us live, game 4 is on now. Hopefully, when we record on Thursday, we won't be talking about Phoenix in the conference finals. But I have a feeling we might be. I think Phoenix is not going to take any risk. I think Phoenix is going to come out swinging tonight to try to put this away and go home and rest. So again, Joker will be Joker. Shout out to Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and everyone else in Phoenix. Crawford is not Crawford, is Crowder. Jay Crowder who has
Yeah.
reemerged as a, and I'm not going to call him a threat, but as a really good role player for a team, and
I
he's
mean,
feeling himself.
he's always been like that. He's always been a great 3-and-D guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised that nothing going on in Phoenix, but once they beat the Lakers, they felt it.
Oh
And
man,
Devin Booker is just like on a whole nother level now. Like he's on a whole nother level.
you,
I forgot last year was the bubble, and that was their first time being in somewhat of a playoff atmosphere.
mm-hmm.
And for him to in situations like that, it's usually, you get bounced out the first round or you get the heebie-jeebies or whatever the case may be. But he is thriving in this, and he is like
Yeah,
getting bucket at the bucket at
yeah,
the bucket, no
yeah,
stopping.
yeah. It's almost like Phoenix beating the Lakers decisively as they did and
Mm-hmm.
dethroning the champions really helped boost their confidence because the Phoenix Suns are coming out playing like they're unstoppable. And I mean, if you
Yeah.
look at the games, they weren't close. Game one was 122 to 105. Game two was 123 to 98. Game three was 116 to 102. And right now, they're up 11 to 4. So it's like Devin Booker is feeling it. Chris Paul is showing everyone why arguably he's the second greatest point guard ever to play the game. Arguably, his floor IQ is unmatched, in my opinion, in terms of point guard basketball. And I'll say this: as much of a Laker fan as I am, as much of a Steph Curry fan as I am, as much of a LeBron fan as I am happy to see different teams compete for the championship. I hate that Brooklyn is a super team. I really do. But I like to see that Utah's in it. I like to see that the Bucks are in it. I like to see that the Suns are in it. I like to see that the Nuggets are in it because it's different and it's good for the game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's one of those things where I think Chris Paul may be in the run for the first, as far as number one point guard in the league. I think some of his skills, obviously, over the years, they've been, I don't want to say slept on, but the fact that Chris Paul is taking his team to another level, not even by himself, just him assisting the younger guys, just him assisting, knowing what play to make and such and such and such. I mean, you didn't say who your number one point guard was. I assume you were talking about Steph.
No,
That's how you
I
did.
said of all time. I said of all
That's what
time.
I'm saying. Of all time.
Magic Johnson, clearly.
Okay. Well, see, that's
Magic
to
Johnson.
me, this is just me. I think Chris Paul has a opportunity to surpass him.
I don't know
And
because of rings, because y'all know when we talk about greatness,
that's
it's
true.
always rings. So
That's
Magic
that's
has
true.
what, four or five, I think Magic has, and Magic was a non-traditional point guard. Magic arguably should have played small forward in most cases, or maybe
You know
even
what?
power forward. So you can never pass Magic, in my opinion, as the GOAT point guard. That's just me.
You know what? When you say it like that, I get it. I get it, and
Mm-hmm.
and so I mean that goes back to him probably being like a probably number 2 point guard. But either way it goes, it's really amazing to see what they've done in Phoenix. Like Chris Paul, they're talking about Chris Paul may turn down his $44 million deal to
Which
get
would be
another.
loony.
No, I think he
Chris
earned it.
Paul's not getting another big contract,
Watch,
bruh.
watch.
That's almost $50 million. Chris Paul is in his 30s. I think what is
He's
it?
in his late 30s.
What
He's in
is
his
this?
late 30s.
This is year what? 17 or 18?
17, 18. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Paul is not getting another large contract. I don't
Not
see it.
only is he getting another large contract, not only is he getting another large contract, he's earned it. Before, I was like, oh no, y'all crazy. But like I told you at the beginning of when we started doing this podcast on TDG, I told y'all Chris Paul is worth every dime. And I
16th
would
season. This is Chris Paul's 16th season.
I would take Chris Paul on this on the Bucks team over Drew Holiday any day of the
Oh,
week.
You know, Chris Paul is a point god, right? He's a
But I'll say this. I'll say this though. I'll say this. Seeing how Chris Paul, his age is catching up to him, and what's holding him, like, because like Chris Paul, like, I'll get you there, but you just take it home. And so right now you're seeing him only playing like 20 minutes, and he'll start resting his body and stuff like that, and so on
Well,
and
I
so
just think
forth.
that's because Phoenix has put beat downs down. I don't think that has anything to do with his age. I just think Phoenix has beat down all their teams to where they don't need to play him 48 minutes.
But even with that though, like his age, and like once he gets hurt, he's like out for a week or something like that. I don't know. It's just one of them things where I just feel like Chris Paul is worth every dime if he gets him. He deserves it. He would deserve another $100 million contract.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So if you were a GM, you would give Chris Paul another major contract.
No question about it. At least
Wow.
because I feel like Chris Paul is the guy. Remember Andre Miller?
I remember Andre Miller.
Andre Miller was playing well into his 40s, maybe a little bit over his 40s. And
I remember.
him like doing the same like old school moves, just at that old or that like that old school nigga at the Y who just be doing all this stuff. You're like, man, how is he making this? And so on and so forth. It's one of them things where I don't know. I just think people didn't take Phoenix serious, and now they have to. Now they have to. And one of
Yeah.
the reasons is because of Chris
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah,
Like, it's
absolutely.
undeniable.
Absolutely. So again, I'm going to stick with my prediction. I think the series is over tonight. I think Phoenix will sweep Denver. Denver has the MVP. They get Murray back next season. Maybe they can run again, but I think Phoenix will be the first team to rest and be fully rested when the conference finals start. I got Phoenix for the sweep.
Okay.
And then we got Utah and the Clippers. I am concerned about Donovan Mitchell's health.
You should be.
He limped off, and it didn't look good in Game 3. Game 3 was a blowout. I am afraid that they have awoken the claw. Something about Kawhi Leonard. It seems like he plays better when the team's back is against the wall. It's almost like that's the fuel and the ammunition that he needs. I think Utah missed a great opportunity to put this away, and I think they're done. Because if you look at the first two games, Utah won 112 to 109, barely beat them. Game 2, 117 and 111, barely beat them. Game 3, they got destroyed. Okay, the Clippers came out and put up 132 points. Kawhi Leonard was balling. Paul George was balling. The role players were balling. And the bottom line is that Phoenix has missed an Utah has missed an opportunity. If Donovan Mitchell does not play, I think the opportunity is really over, and this series is over. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is a superstar in the making. He is the future of the NBA. Dwayne Wade is going to have some great things in his future development, but I think this series is over. I think the Los Angeles Clippers will go ahead and wrap this thing up in 6, and they will win the next 3 games to call it one. I think it's over. I think this is over. So go ahead.
I think it is over. I think Clippers will win it in 6. But I also think that Utah, Donovan Mitchell being injured does affect the team. But I think that, you know what? I'll say this. I'll scratch that. I'll go 7. And I'm kind of like, I kind of agree with you because I hate the fact that Kawhi Leonard turns it on when he wants to turn it on. He doesn't have a a killer mentality. And it's one of those things where, like, Kawhi, he slowly but surely gets into it. Fourth quarter, he usually kind of balls out. But that's fourth quarter, he kind of balls out. And it's one of those things where, like, the whole Clippers team is not, they're not going to get another night like this out of playoff P. Playoff P is going to, do what he do, get like 20, 25, whatever. And then Kawhi's going to have to get another 40 twice. He's going to have to get 40 twice. I said last week the Clippers were going to win this in 6 because, I don't know what, like I said before, what irritates me about Kawhi, I feel like he plays when he wants to play. Oh, we're down 0-2. All right, time to get serious. I'm like, what the fuck? Nigga, what? Yeah, it's time to get serious now, y'all. I'm just like, I guess, man. I guess. Whatever gets y'all to the promised land. And
yeah. But that's how you want them, though. You want the Kawhi to play with the back against the wall because that's the killer that you're getting. That's the big shot that you're getting. That's the lock-up defender that you're getting.
Why play with your food? Why play with your food, though?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that we can blame that on Kawhi because none of these losses have been on him. He's came out and done his business. It's been on Playoff P. It's been on Patrick Beverly. It's been on Rajon Rondo. It's been on all those players who haven't stepped up. It cannot just be Leonard and Leonard alone. We learned that with LeBron. It can't just be LeBron and LeBron alone. Kawhi's supporting cast needs to show up and give him the support that he deserves.
Yeah. I mean, but see, when you say that, though, like they got rid of Doc Rivers, they pretty much...
It was like time for a breakup. It was time.
Yeah, it was time. But even with the Lakers, like you bring all these guys in to help you contribute. And I'm not saying it's like a LeBron James situation where other players kind of like fall back, but you built this team for stuff like to not play with your food. You built teams to not play with your food. And when I see the Clippers always playing with your food, always playing with their food, that type of stuff comes to bite you in the end. And you guys are, on paper, they're obviously the better team than Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Because, hey, Kawhi, lock up Donovan. Hey, playoff P, get one of them white boys. Because one of them come off the bench. I forgot the names. Obviously, I'm bad with names or whatever. But still, it's one of them things where, like, Rudy Gobert, do what you do. So, and then nobody I told y'all that they was going to bring in that big white boy for Gilbert. Not Gilbert. For what's his name? For Gobert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought they was gonna bring in a big white boy, which I knew they would. And he's kind of giving us some issues. But like I said before, you won't get another game like this out of playoff P. So
shout out to Rudy for winning Defensive Player of the Year. I also right about that prediction. So congrats.
So it's just one of them things where we'll see what happens. But I think the Clippers in 6, I do think there's gonna be the Clippers in 6. They'll win the next 2 games.
Yeah.
Especially with Donovan limping like he limping.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll miss another game, but him coming in there limping, it's not gonna be pretty.
So potentially that when we record on Thursday night, potentially we could be previewing the Western and the Eastern Conference Finals, depending on how the rest of this week goes. So
could be.
I got LA Clippers. So keep watching, ladies and gentlemen. Keep watching. The NBA playoffs are coming down to the Final Four in the next week or so. Yeah, it's looking real good. Moving on. Superstars in the making. We talked a little bit earlier about Donovan Mitchell and what he brings to the game. Earlier this week, Stephen A. Smith has already declared that Donovan Mitchell is the greatest player in Utah Jazz history. He says, forget Malone, forget John Stockton, it's Donovan Mitchell. What do we think about Stephen A's comments? Why? Like, it's just, why? Like, come on. And you and I both know Stephen A sometimes can spit some straight gospel. If it's church, Stephen A would be the T.D. Jakes of church, right? Or the Jay-Z of rap. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But these comments are not only offensive to players like Karl Malone and John Stockton, I think they are curseful to Mitchell, because Donovan Mitchell is too young in his career to be declared the best of all time. What if he has a bad season? Okay, what if he can't come back from a serious injury? What if Utah is a lottery team next year? Utah has yet to have a deep playoff run under Mitchell. Utah have yet to get to the conference finals or the NBA finals. So to make a statement like that, I think is blasphemous to the Utah Jazz organization. I think it undermines
Blasphemous?
blasphemous.
Okay, that's all
Blasphemous.
right.
What?
That's a strong word. Go
Well, it
ahead.
is. It is because you're undermining John Stockton to be probably one of the greatest assist leaders in the game. Karl Malone is probably the second or third greatest power forward of all time. I mean, none of them won a championship, to be fair. So it's hard to not say that they're not, GOATs, but they are indeed the two greatest in the era of Utah. I'm saying that to say, Stephen A. Smith, Zeke, it's too early to give him that title. Okay, because we don't even know that he's going to stay in Utah when his renewal comes up. And also give the man time to deliver something for the organization. He doesn't need all these distractions with people calling him the Utah GOAT or the second coming of Karl Malone. He needs to be able to play this game and get better every single day. With that being said, Mitchell has the potential to be the greatest Jazz player if he stays and if he delivers championships. Karl Malone is an all-time leading scorer.
He never delivered a championship.
Never delivered a championship, but he's still an all-time leading scorer. Stockton, an all-time assist leader, but they never deliver ships. Mitchell has the potential, but he's not there yet.
First of all, strong words. Second of all, I mean, when Stephen A. said it, I kind of got where he was coming from, just because how dominant recently of a player Donovan Mitchell is. But I think that, like you said before, it's kind of too early to say that, just because Karl Malone got Utah in places that they haven't been since he retired or since he left. So, championships, whether they won them or not, back-to-back championship, like back-to-back conference finals. So it's one of those things where, Karl Malone is one of those guys who just can't beat Jordan, which is not a long list, but a decent list of guys who just can't, bring it to their town. But nowadays, that kind of stuff is just kind of being thrown together. Like, is Kevin Durant is one of the greatest Oklahoma City Thunder players ever? No.
He's
but
the greatest. You're right.
Oh.
He's the greatest. Kevin Durant is not the greatest OKC player ever.
Some would say Russell Westbrook.
Never.
Because he stayed.
Never.
Because he stayed.
But he left too.
I don't know.
None of them delivered ships.
He got
They're
traded.
1 and 2. They're 1 and 2. But go ahead, continue.
But I'll say this: it's too early. It's too early to say that, because who, like you said before, who knows what's in the future. Then on top of that, he hasn't. I think he just passed up or tied Karl Malone, or second to Karl Malone in some record. So besides that record, it's not one of those things where he hasn't took
just say it, bro.
Utah.
He hasn't done anything. Just say it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna say he hasn't taken Utah to a place that they haven't been before. Like, he's taking his team on his back, but so is Karl Malone, and Stockton was his Robin to his Batman. So I guess I get it. Yeah, I get it. It's too early. It's too early to crown him that title.
Yeah. Like I say, I mean, and Mitchell is a great player. I'm a big Mitchell fan. But it's too early. It's too early. And I think we as sports fans, commentators, podcasters, we do players disservice. Remember when Brandon Jennings was with the Bucks and he had that one good season and he dropped that 55 points? His career was cursed right after that because he did nothing. So we have to be careful at crowning players way too soon and let them develop into players. I did like to see that Dwayne Wade was out there helping coach him. I look forward to watching that relationship blossom in the NBA. So
yeah, me too. I am really too, because that's what they say about Donovan Mitchell. He reminds a lot of people of D Wade. So for him to have ownership in an organization, and to be able to help Donovan out, so on and so forth, is real cool.
Now, speaking of Mitchell, Mitchell is not the only one making headlines. We are slowly but surely phasing out of the LeBron James era of basketball. LeBron probably has another 1 to 3 years, maybe, but we're slowly ushering in a new level and identity of superstars. Zeke, we are slowly but surely ushering in a new level of superstars. You know,
Yeah.
LeBron is going to be LeBron. KD is going to be KD. Steph is going to be Steph. But we're not going to say an afterthought, but in the next 2 or 3 years, you know, the game is really changing and the NBA is embarking on a new era of superstars. And so as we prepare to crown new superstars in the NBA, who stands out to you as the next 3 to 5 players that are the new superstars and faces of the NBA? I have several. I narrowed it down to 5. And I believe that these 5 players are going to be the future of basketball in terms of superstardom. I believe you'll see players start building teams around them. I believe that these are the new MVPs, the new scoring champions, the new assist leaders, and the folks that will keep basketball fun when LeBron walks out into the sunset, when KD walks out. Steph, I believe, has another good 4 to 6 years left, so Steph will always be in the conversation. Uh,
What?
I said what I said, but in terms of this new young, in terms of this new young talent, man,
Oh man,
when I
these fans.
when I think about the superstardom of the NBA, and if I have to limit it to 5, I'm going to give you the Greek Freak, Giannis. I'm going to give you Luca from Dallas. I told you Luca's going to win MVP next year. Book it. I'm going to give you Luca.
First of all, I know you knew this was coming too. I was talking about Luca this year. This year I was talking about Luca. This year I was telling y'all, hey, Luca, top under 25, top 25, he's number 1.
He is. He is. I'll give that to you. I stand corrected. Luca. Okay, Greek. Luca. Devin Booker.
Are you going this by?
No particular order. I'm just giving you
Okay.
5 names that the NBA can build around, and these are the future superstars of the NBA. The Greek Freak, Luca, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, and it was a tie for me between Zion Williams and Jason Tatum, but I'm actually going to have to give it to Trae Young. So I'm going to say Greek, Luca.
You said Greek? Ain't he over the 25?
I'm not saying age. I'm saying the future superstars of the NBA, the people that are going to carry the game of basketball when LeBron and KD ride off into the sunset.
All right, go ahead.
So the Greek Freak, Luca, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, and Trae Young are 5 future and current, in my opinion, for some of them, superstars of the game of basketball. Household names that will carry the NBA through the next 4 to 8 years of basketball.
Well, I'll say this. This is like, why you put Steph Curry in there? I'll take Steph Curry out of there.
I didn't put Steph on this rising list. He's already a superstar. I just said he'll be in the conversation for the next 4 to 5 years.
So that's where we disagree. I don't think he'll be in the conversation for the next 4 to 5 years because he's getting up there too. I'll replace him with Dame Dollar. Will probably be in that conversation for the next 4 to 5 years.
If he gets traded.
Even if he don't get traded, I think Portland needs to start to build a team around him now.
Who wants to go to Portland, though, Zeke?
I was just going to say before you cut me off that no one wants to.
I didn't cut you off, man.
You cut me off.
I did not cut you off. No, Kesey does it often. I'm usually quiet when y'all arguing.
Hey, he get it from somewhere.
Well,
it ain't for me because y'all the one getting cut off. So,
Listen to the
But
tapes, America. Listen to the tapes. It's usually me quiet when him and Kesey are bickering back and forth. Go ahead.
I'm gonna need every 94 Fee fan to really just jump in this live and be like, yeah, Dre be cutting everybody off.
No.
It happens often. But
It
anyways,
does not. Kesey
it happens
does.
often.
Okay, fine. We're gonna start counting. Since you brought it up, we're gonna start counting.
Fine. I mean, he's not here to defend himself, but it happens. and watch me at the bottom of the list. No, ZQ is at the bottom of the list. But anyways, I think that Dame is one of those guys.
Did I cut you off? No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. Go ahead.
No, I'm joking, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I swear I was joking. Go.
But so Dame is one of those guys. Dame is one of those guys. Him leaving is gonna kind of turn the NBA upside down, to be honest with you. I think that but that's another subject for another day. As far as like up and coming stars, I agree with everybody on that list. I think certain things have to happen to take these guys to another level. Like just Giannis alone, they're starting to build a team around him. I think he needs another superstar, but again, that's another subject for another day. But as far as Luka, Trey, Jason Tatum, who else you say?
I said Greek, Luka, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, okay, Donovan Mitchell. That's what
Devin Booker and Trae Young.
Okay, yeah, Booker, Luka, Jason Tatum, Trae Young, and Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, I think. Anyways, the point I'm making is with these guys, I think you can. I think they've shown that that they're the next generation of the NBA, and that if you build a team around them, they can take it to another level by getting multiple championships. I think it's really hard to determine that because I think once LeBron retires, who knows when that's going to be? I think he's going to rock it till the wheels fall off, literally. And then you got Steph Curry, who's probably going to last a little bit longer because he doesn't like drive as much. But like him, KD, like those guys, Kyrie, those guys are, I don't want to say old, but they kind of need the last leg. And this new generation that's coming up, I think you can build teams around them. I think it's going to be a lot of shuffling within the next couple of years. But like, I don't think Jason Tatum is going to stay with Boston forever. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is going to stay with Utah forever. Like even guys like Jaylen Brown, like they're probably, I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff that's going to has to happen in order for something like for these guys to be taken over. Because I think once LeBron retires, it's going to leave a gap in the NBA, like when Jordan retired, where who's going to be that guy to be here every single year? And I don't know if any of those guys have, but I don't even see, like, even if you see potential, you don't see the organization making moves so this guy can be around for so long and stuff like that. But somebody like LeBron, who has so much control over like personnel and so on and so forth, it's a really big toss up. But I think you're on the right track with the 5 guys that you named, except for like Jason Tatum.
Yep, and I didn't name Jason Tatum. I mean,
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, except for Jason Tatum.
Yeah. When you talk about how when Michael Jordan left the game, people crown T-Mac, Vince Carter, Kobe, KG. They crown everybody the second coming of Michael, and we never got it. I think that the LeBrons, the KDs, even the Chris Pauls, I think they are on their last final big contracts. I do. I think this is it. I think if anyone wants to sign, because you think about it, if LeBron, Chris Paul, well, not LeBron, they're about 35, 36. If you sign another 4 or 5 year contract, you're saying that you're holding on to these guys until they're 40, 39 or 40 years old. And I don't know that the NBA teams want to do that. And you have young talent like Luka. Dallas is a team to go to. If Dallas can get rid of Porzingis and bring in like a Kawhi Leonard, or you bring in someone like a Giannis or you bring in someone like a Jason Collins, or you bring in another big threat.
Did you
Dallas
say Jason Collins?
from Atlanta, dude's a baller.
He gonna make a difference.
He could
He's
make
not
a
a
huge difference. He's a
he's not a
nice
difference. He's not
he
a difference maker.
he'll be better than Porzingis. I'm just naming players that can complement Luka because Porzingis has been a big disappointment.
Oh
He
yes,
has
I
been a
agree with you.
big disappointment, and so I think the NBA is in good hands. I think Luka will be like the next Dirk Nowitzki. I told you he was the second coming of Dirk. Mitchell has been balling out, and we have a huge future of basketball players, and the NBA is in good hands. So I am proud to see that there are so many young players, and I'm glad to see small markets making a difference. I'm glad to see Utah. I'm glad to see Dallas is not really a small market, but I'm glad to see
It kind of
teams
is.
that not when you think about they're still considered
This
marquee. When you
they're
think about
they're Luca has a big enough draw, but they're not a marquee team.
yeah, they are a marquee team. And in fact, yes, they are. They are a marquee
No,
team.
no.
Dallas, the Warriors, Golden State, the Lakers, the Clippers, any team really with a superstar that attracts crowds are marquee. In some in
Is
some markets,
Milwaukee?
hear me. In
Is
some markets,
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee is a marquee team, especially New York because the tickets are ridiculous and the Greek fans and Greek audience sell out that stadium. Christmas teams are usually marquee ball clubs. That's one way to assess it. They're usually marquee teams. So
Hmm.
but you know, a lot of time left, a lot of basketball left to be played. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening to another episode of the 94 Feet podcast. Myself, my brother Zeke held it down today.
All right,
Shout out, shout out to our brother Kesey, man. We missed you.
we
Safe
don't.
travel. Safe travels back from your vacation with your family. 94 Feet America. Check us out on Spreakers, iHeart, Google, Apple, of course, Spotify. Like, subscribe, share, comment, rate us up, leave us comments in the chat. Follow us on social media, 94 Feet Podcast. That's 94FT Podcast. It's the same on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We interact, we go live, we discuss. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. Peace.
Peace.